I'm just going to apologize in advance. I'm sick. I'll be coughing a lot. I just have to deal with that. My project is called The Final Line, A Goalkeeper's Life. My big question was, how can a coach be a quality mentor? I mean, over the years I've noticed, especially nowadays, coaches are now just being coaches. Their only goal, their only objective is to win the game. And I feel like with that, you're missing a lot of the values. Part of that, I would probably blame society. There's just a lot of societal pressure, but because of that, it's everybody, no matter what your experience level, whether you're young and learning or you're a professional, you are losing out on some of those important values. One of the reasons why I did this was I believe if you know how to do something that someone else doesn't and they want to learn, I feel like it's your responsibility to teach them. If they're willing to learn, you should put forth the effort to improve their lives so they can do it also. I just from some of my research, I just did some general tips for coaching. You want to be consistent, you want to be firm. It helps when you get parents involved. Be open to change. Don't be set in your ways. I've written, I don't know how many lesson plans now, and not once has it gone exactly to plan, or have I even finished one fully. So you got to be open to change. Try not to micromanage, and just be friendly. Listen to them. You don't want to be having it be one-sided. Some tips for mentoring. Same thing. It's going to be consistent. You're going to be firm, but you're going to be friendly. Have a parent offer a different perspective and keep an open mind. I'm sure, as most of you noticed, they said basically the same thing. So why don't coaches become mentors? Why don't coaches take that extra step in improving their students' lives? The obvious difference is the coaching tends to be more related towards sports. Mentoring is a little more life, but why can't they be the same? As many of you know, I play soccer, and I'm a goalkeeper. I'm the one that stands at the very back end of the field, take all the shots. If you don't really know a whole lot of what that is, I'm going to have some professionals tell you what it's like. Okay. So bear with me here while I get this stuff.
The goalkeeper is football's outlier, an individual in a collective game. They wear different jerseys than their teammates. They're allowed to use their hands, and they're expected to put their faces where the studs are flying. In a game in which the ultimate thrill is to score a goal, these are the gentlemen who are paid to save them. And it's saved by heart! And save them they must, because football is a cruel, unforgiving world. Goalkeepers are a breed apart. But what do we know of these men? Their art, their tactical ability, their psychology. I came to England to spend time with 4 men and find out. Common wisdom has it, goalkeepers, they're all crazy.
Look at Tim Howard, he is fired up.
Is there a grain of truth in that?
I think a lot of goalkeepers are crazy.
Oh, and Howard produces a stunning save.
I think you have to be different in order to play the goalkeeper position, certainly mentally.
Why in God's name would you want to stand in front of a ball that's traveling at X miles per hour, coming at your face,
Good save from Guzan.
throwing your body on the line?
I think you have to be maybe a little bit smarter than others to be a goalkeeper.
It's a magnificent save by Begovic.
You've got to be a little bit crazy to stand in front of a ball being fired at you.
Good stop from Kasper Schmeichel, because that's moving in the air. Blinding save from the hair. Boy, that's brilliant. Because he goes. Oh, what a save. A brilliant save.
I'd say it's the brave that are goalkeepers.
If someone asks you
Okay, and then here's some of the goalkeepers' traits and their opinions.
complex position, what's the most important trait for an elite goalkeeper?
Everyone looks at a complete goalkeeper from your positioning, from your technique, from your strength and power, dominating, commanding, communication, and obviously distribution as well.
But I think you, as a goalkeeper, you have to be brave.
There's a big difference, I think, between top goalkeepers and other goalkeepers is their focus. They're ready. Goalkeepers that play for top teams, they might have to only make one save a game, but they're ready and they make it.
Great save from Courtois. That's the save of the day.
It's the guys that are mentally strongest that will survive.
When I look at who I consider to be a great goalkeeper, they're all mentally tough. They're all able to puff their chest out, play well even when things aren't going great around them. It's the goalkeepers who can deal with that, move on, put it behind them, not even think about it.
Do you feel even within?
Something I forgot to mention in some of my previous slides was what I'm talking about now, the coach becoming a mentor, and these missing values. This is not just for soccer. This is not just for goalkeepers. This is for all sports. I just did my project around soccer and goalkeeping because that is what I know. This is what I know how to do, and that's what I had access to. So just keep that in mind too. Some key points for being a good goalkeeper. You want to be a strong leader. You have to be physically strong and mentally strong. There's a lot of things you're going to be doing on the field that you might not have any direct action, but you will be commanding, you're directing people where to go, what to do, so on and so forth. Hence the high quality communication skills. You got to be able to talk to people, especially across the field, which is 110 yards. And then you're going to have extremely high level focus. When you're standing in the back there, it is so easy to get distracted. So keeping yourself in check so you don't just start daydreaming is very important. These are all qualities you're going to want in your real life. Any job you're going to go into, they're going to look for people who are leaders, who can communicate, who can focus and do their job well. And this goes for, again, every sport, everything that you are interested in, whether it be music, sports, art, whatever. There are qualities that you need to bring forth into your actual life. Don't just keep them towards what you're doing. Okay, where are we starting from? Let me start off by saying none of my students that I worked with 3 kids, none of them were by any means had bad grades or were out of shape or they weren't bad kids. They all were decent to start with. But they were just very rough. They were unorganized and they weren't necessarily accountable for their actions. If you look at some of the grades here, I mean, none of these grades are bad. I mean, there's a couple C's in one of them, a couple D's in the other. I mean, they're not terrible, but there's always a lot of room for improvement. And physically, I set up an obstacle course I built 4 years ago for goalkeepers, and this is one of my students' starting time, which is, let's just say, not a very good time. But the point is they improve. So we'll go into what the professionals do now to train.
Or for anything in a match, and whether it's in the first minute or the 90th minute or the 65th minute, you've got to be ready, and to do that, you train harder than you play.
I'm a firm believer that goalkeeping training is very simplistic, it's basic. When I run a soccer camp in the summer, I do the same things with them that I do with myself in training every day, because you can't reinvent the wheel.
On a match day, you may only hit the ground a handful of times, whereas in training, your body's hitting the ground probably maybe close to 100.
I think you reach a level where you become the goalkeeper you're destined to be, and can you improve? I think you can probably improve. I think those improvements come in small increments.
Then I have one more video here. They are talking about qualities they think young goalkeepers should have or should focus on as they advance themselves.
Goalkeepers watching this, what is the best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice is to listen and learn. Obviously work hard, goes without question. These are the things that you can't take for granted.
It's a magnificent save by Begovic.
Be patient and work hard. Not many goalkeepers are willing to go the extra mile and go the extra training session. When things don't go their way, they start to maybe throw the towel in.
Oh, what a save! A high-flying act from Grusic.
You gotta just be happy that you're playing the game and feel like you're learning all the time, because even my age, I'm 28, I'm by no means perfect. I'm still learning every single day, and still learning from every game I play, and I'm just enjoying playing every single day.
It's coming in, and Schmeichel busy again.
Just having that self-belief when you're out there that you know, that you can make the save. And then it's just about, as Casey Keller once told me, make as many saves as you can, no matter what level you play at.
Oh, brilliant save. Brilliant, brilliant save.
Okay, so you know what they said now, and now we'll go into what we actually did. I thought, because I'm not just generally coaching, I want to help them in every aspect of their life. I thought grades would be a simple starting point. So I would have them bring me, every week when I met with them, their grade sheets. And I'd be talking with their parents the entire time, wondering what was going on. When they bring me the grade sheets, though, I would look at the grades. If there's anything that was really not an A, because that's what it should be, especially at their age groups, which are 13, 14, I would ask them, why do you have that grade? Whether they would tell me whether it was a bad test, they don't understand the subject, or they forgot to turn something in, whatever it may be. And then my second question would be, how are you going to fix it? And they would tell me, but often, especially in the beginning, I didn't expect them to really back it up. So then, of course, I'd have to follow through. I would be texting their parents, I'd be texting them, I'd be having the other students I was working with talk to them while they're at school to help remind them, keep them accountable. And in a matter of just probably a couple of weeks, it got to the point to where they'd bring me their grade sheets, they'd tell me what they did wrong, and tell me how they are going to fix it before I had to ask them a simple question. Which is really what I was going for. I wanted them to keep themselves accountable now too. So in just a couple of weeks, it stunned me how fast they caught on and started thinking for themselves. Of course, with any sport, you're going to have to do general conditioning, the push-ups, the crunches, one of those code drills I told you about, improvised goalie training, etc. And they weren't, some of them were good to start with, some of them were very poor at physical health. So it ranged, but that also made that much of a difference though when I tested them again towards the end here. Of course, I did specific training then. I mean, if I just did physical training, yeah, they'll be in good shape. If they don't know how to play their position, they're not going to play their position well. So I did a bunch of techniques and forms, everything I've learned through self-teaching, through camps, through online work, through watching professionals, everything in between. But at the beginning, I also asked them what they wanted to learn. I didn't just want to teach them. I wanted them to want to learn or know what they need to benefit from. So that at the beginning, they all told me one goal, something specific they wanted to learn, and I tried to work that in the best I can. And we got some of them. We didn't get all of them, but I'm going to continue training either way. So we'll get to it. But I still wanted them to keep themselves accountable for that. So they want to learn. And then I simply just talked to them. Whether it was about the sport, about the training, about the conditioning, or whatever it may be, I wanted their input from everything we were doing. But I took that one step further, and I wanted to know how their school was going. Not just tasks and grades, but I wanted to know how they felt about everything. Were they struggling? Were they depressed? Was it just rough? Were they having problems at home? Anything. And they were a little hesitant at first, but they, especially last week, had a situation where one of the students just was on the edge of tears. She just couldn't do it anymore. She was just tired of everything. And you'll see in a couple other slides me talking to her and just trying to work her through it. I just want to take it one step further and make sure they're okay in every sense of life. Where we are now. Keep in mind, this has only been a month, maybe a month and a half now. So I didn't expect huge leaps and bounds, but I expected improvement. And there was a lot more improvement than I had expected. Of course, they got physically stronger through all the training. They were mentally tougher. They were more responsible. They were more confident. They were more confident and more responsible on the field and off. and I was thoroughly impressed. As you saw a couple slides ago, I had a time at 4:35.98, was one of my students' first obstacle course time. And in a matter of 4 weeks, he dropped a minute and a half off of that. A minute and a half. I don't care what kind of course you're doing, a minute and a half is going to be a significant amount for anything you were doing. So I was extremely pleased. As you can see, the grades now too, again, they're not perfect, but they're better. There's no longer D's, they're up to B's now, and then now one of them has all A's. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. It's just giving them that extra nudge, that extra push to make them want to do better for themselves too, not just me. I interviewed some of the parents and one of the coaches. I'm sorry for the quality. It was kind of windy when we were filming it, so just have to bear with me. If you have any questions about the video afterwards, I'll take those, just raise your hand, because it's going to be kind of rough.
Okay, for the parents, since this project began, what kind of differences have you noticed in your kids?
I think Savannah's going to become more aggressive in the net, a little bit less fear. I think her skills getting much better. That is more interested in playing. For a while, we thought everybody to help her. That yeah, I didn't know how to move forward. So I think it's all right to go and see the coach involved.
What were your children's study habits like before this project, now and after? If they were told to do something now, do they actually do it?
Madison's study habits haven't changed a lot, but she's more accountable because she knows that checking her grades and she doesn't want to go down. She knows that she wants to down and needs hard work. Yeah, path is look up the grades every week, put them out every week, talk about like that, why it's good. But it is nice to have somebody else say that this is the work, not just mom.
For Coach, how has their practice ethics been since the project started?
I would definitely say that, in particular for Madison, she's much more focused, much more interested. She's always wanted to perform with her teammates, but she's taken that to them.
And then, in your opinion, how has their game performance been since the project started?
Most difference that I've seen is the confidence in that she became much more comfortable back there, not too much anxiety, she's more decisive, makes better decisions quicker and more time.
And then the last question is for all of you. Do you think having an additional coach or mentor has benefited them?
I'll go first. I would say absolutely. We've certainly noticed the difference on my team from Maddie, not only from her play on the field, but her leadership qualities, entertaining to the team and her teammates, and not only wanting to see them, but now with the ability and the desire.
I'd say definitely she looks up to that completely, and a good example is this weekend we had something happen in the game that really had her shaken up, and the first thing she did that evening was text Zach and ask Zach what she did wrong, what she could do different, and explain the situation, and he talked her through it for probably 30 minutes that night. So definitely has helped have a mentor.
Yes, I would have too. Yeah, before life was fun, but now it's responsibility for it. Skill level that we are aware of, that we can achieve and work at, not just fun, so it's not just.
Okay, thank you.
Again, sorry about the muffled. Was there any questions about that? Okay. In conclusion, it's pretty simple. You have the power. If you know how to do something, you know how to improve someone's life. I really think it's that simple. It really does not take much. You show you care. I mean, whether it's talking to them, doing something for them, you just need to show in some way that you care. And continue to show that you'll be there to help them. You need to put in the effort just as much as they do. You may ask a lot of them mentally and physically, but you should be doing just as much. Whether you are doing the drills with them, so they see that they're not just being told to do something, but that you can do it too, and it actually benefits them, or whether you put in extra time looking at new ways for them to learn, or to study, or whatever, or just simply reminding them. And you need to go the extra mile. Whether you just see them, talk to them, text them the reminder, talk to their parents about anything, just put forth the effort and they will give you the same back. What I learned from this project was a lot, actually. I was astonished by how just putting that little extra effort in, trying just a little more, how significant the results can be. I mean, it's been a month, and just yesterday, Path, one of my students, was being kind of a, I would say, smart ass, per se. And then I punished him and do some 60 crunches with him. If you asked him a month ago to do that, he couldn't do 10 straight without getting sick to his stomach. And he did 60 now and barely broke his back. And the amount that's changed just blows my mind. And a couple things I learned for coaching or mentoring in the future. Let them talk more and actually take their input. I've tried to always let my students talk, and I would sometimes listen, sometimes I wouldn't, but I mean, when you have them inputting on what they want to do or how they want to do the drill, if it has the same outcome, listen to them. It makes them feel like they have more power and they're more willing to do it too. And one thing you never forget while doing anything, whether it's coaching, mentoring, tutoring, whatever, make it fun. If you are doing any of those at any age, they want to have fun while they're learning. So make it competitive, make it fun. I've always tried to do all these before when I was coaching, but doing this project and forced myself to go a little bit further, and I am actually very grateful for it. And now I know what I'm going to do from now on when I do continue to coach through the rest of my life. And it's just, yeah, the results are astonishing. It just blows my mind. I'm so thankful for it. And obviously we had a lot of fun here. Here are just some random pictures, faces of kids just having a good time with it. I mean, they're still doing the drill, they're still just messing around, but they're smiling and enjoying doing it. They're enjoying learning, and I just love working with them, and it's fantastic. The crew, actually, the one on the far left here is my brother Evan. You can stand up now if you want, Evan. Okay, or not. He was a unique challenge. Going into this, he had trouble, both of us had trouble, at differentiating between being a coach and then being a big brother. I would often push him harder than the other kids because I know he could take it. He thought I was being unfair, so we had to spend some extra time communicating and learning how to work with each other and finding the right balance. But he stuck it out, I'm thankful for it. I know I owe you. The kid in the middle, his name is Path. I mean, just look at his picture. You know he's just kind of a screwball. I have no other way to put it. I mean, that face says it all. But when it comes down to it, he was a little rough to get in the routine, but once he did, he would do his work, he worked hard at it. He was the one specifically that impressed me with the time, the obstacle course, and then the grade sheets, telling me what he's going to do before I have to ask him. And on the far right there is Maddie McBride. Some of you guys might know her older brother, Zach. Anyways, I've been working with Maddie for probably about 2 years now, and she still continues to amaze me at what she can do on the field and off, physically and mentally. she can now easily do over 300 push-ups without stopping and barely break a sweat. And it's amazing. She just keeps going at it. Her grades now are straight A's. You saw before she had a couple of C's in there. I mean, it's just, I'm so thankful that they stuck it out with me because it was kind of rough. I was sick and injured for a while, and Pat and Maddie were also doing track this entire time. So they were always exhausted. It was some compromise on everybody's part. Of course, it was a extended project, so I want to, of course, thank the parents and coaches, my photographer, and the occasional assistant that came out to help me throughout this entire thing. I want to especially thank my students and Evan and everybody. I know I'm not the easiest to work with sometimes, and there were a lot of interruptions, so I am just thankful for you guys sticking out with me. And that's it.
So yeah, as with anyone, we'll have Q&A afterwards, but especially with Zach's, he is asked to be scored on questions and answers. So we're looking for 3 or 4 different questions from a variety of people.
You said you were with kids like once a week?
With them, I could only get once a weekend because they were playing soccer for their actual team. They were running track, and then they were working with me on top of it.
Okay.
So there's a little tough, but normally I've been working with kids 2 to 3 times a week.
Is this like a bunch of people on the regular soccer team get to come and do this, or you just ask?
This was more specifically goal training because that's what I know. A couple times though, I would talk with the coaches when we needed more people how do I word this? To have them see the bigger picture. I would sometimes have full teams come out, and I'd have them run through drills and have the goalies do what they're supposed to do, directing them, and just seeing the whole big picture, not just with us 4 working at the goal. All right. Thank you. Anyone? Megan?
What was the hardest part?
Oh, jeez. I think the hardest part was definitely finding the time. I mean, as I was saying, they were all doing track, they're in clubs, and they're playing their soccer team too, and that was such a struggle to find time. In the beginning, we were bouncing back and forth between a couple days, and then I got sick and injured for 2 weeks, and that definitely put a damper on the training. But yeah, just having us meet halfway and just finding a day or a time. At times, we would only be able to practice for an hour. Sometimes we'd do 2 or plus. And so it was just finding the time that everybody could come together and get a lot of work done, which was probably the hardest part.
So you said that you noticed improvements with your students that you were mentoring. Part of any good teaching / mentoring kind of thing, not only are you going to see improvements in students, but sometimes you see improvements in yourself as the mentor. So you might tell a little bit about how you see yourself improving, maybe not just as a soccer mentor, but maybe as a life and in school yourself too.
I definitely learned a lot from this whole thing, and I definitely benefited from doing it. When I was teaching them, I still play soccer, I still play goalie, so I kept reminding myself of things that I need to do. And when I'd have them come watch me at games, I'd have them tell me what I'm doing wrong, in their opinion, so that I could benefit myself too. As for the work ethic outside of the sport, I again try to hold myself to the same standards I was holding them to. I figured that was only fair. If I was asking them to do something, I want them to, well, help me keep me accountable too. That was off and on, but keep me and help myself, keep myself accountable on what I need to do, as for grades, work at study, senior project, work, whatever I need to do. And then, like work plans, I had to put in extra time, extra effort into figuring out what they need to learn and what they get the most benefit from in the shortest amount of time. And I feel like those planning skills and have already helped me so much in preparing for college and what I need to do before classes actually start, moving out, scholarships, everything. So, and they're just having fun with it. I mean, I learned so much just from watching them play and how much fun they could have doing it. I used to take it so seriously, and I still do, but you gotta be able to laugh at yourself when you make a mistake. And that doesn't have to be just about the sport. That can be anything you do in life. If you mess up, you gotta be able to laugh at it and improve from it. So that's, yeah.
Great, just one last comment too. One thing you notice with mentorship, with leadership, it's not about you, is it? How many times have you said them, they, them, or those people, the people I'm working with? That's what leadership's about. And that's why it's important that we're doing this project senior year. Nice job, Zach. Let's give him a clap.